I have 2 kids, a son who's 35 and a daughter who's 32. Unfortunately, my son's wife passed away 2.5 years ago, and we were all devastated for my son and their 2 very young kids, male and female very young grammar schoolers, who just lost their mum. Also, they went from being a 2-income household to a 1-income one, buried under a pile of bills. While my son sorted out his finances, he moved into a 1-bedroom apartment near his work in the city, and the grandkids came to live with me, about 1.5 hours by commuter train away in the suburbs. He stays with us every Friday night to Sunday night before returning to the city for work. They've been living with me for a little over 2 years, and I've covered most of their expenses willingly. My daughter has taken offence to this. She thinks since I'm providing free childcare to her brother, I should also do so for her. When she first brought it up a year ago, I gently told her that she was a 2-income, 2-parent household and she wanted childcare so she could have fun, while her brother had lost his wife and the children their mother, and he needed the help. Since then, she's repeatedly complained about how I play favourites with her brother. I continue to explain that while I love her and her brother equally, her brother's children need my help far more than her. I still visit, send equally generous gifts to them on birthdays and holidays, and call them frequently on FaceTime. Recently, my daughter said if I wasn't willing to help with childcare, I should be spending an equal amount of money on her kids. She said inflation is hard and she's struggling too. I again told her I wasn't helping her brother's kids because I had spare money or because it was for fun, but because they lost their mother and half their family income. In addition, her husband regularly sends money home to his parents in India, so I told her if they could afford to give away money, my help wasn't a necessity and rather to fund their generosity. That made my daughter extremely angry, and she said that family helps family, which is what her husband was doing. I tried again to gently explain that if she was struggling, it was her husband's duty to put them first and his extended family second. That went over poorly, and she's been calling me an idiot, and recently even made a Facebook post on how her brother is the golden child and she's the scapegoat. In turn, my son now feels extremely guilty and has suggested taking his children back to the city to live with him so I could go babysit my daughter's kids. He said he could stretch his budget and get a 2-bedroom apartment to get by. I feel strongly that I'm not biased. Had the same tragedy befallen my daughter and the situation been reversed, I would have done the same. However, my son's offer is making me pause. My husband, their father, fully agrees with me on this. So, am I the idiot? And should I send my son's kids back to him to babysit my daughters? Not the idiot. Family helps family. Just not you. You aren't allowed, according to her logic. The lack of empathy shown by your daughter toward his deceased wife and their children and her subsequent entitlement towards your money is ridiculous. She should rest assured that her parent would aid her in a moment of dire need. Agree. Your son-in-law is sending money to support his parents and your daughter wants you to give her money to support her family. Why don't you guys just cut out the middleman and you send money directly to your son-in-law's parents? You are the idiot. It's been 2 years and the situation has gone from whilst he sorts out his finances to this is life now. If your son were a woman, he would have been expected to learn how to become a single parent, with or without help. What you're doing isn't helping, it's taking over. You've allowed your son to turn you into the de facto parental figure. He needs to do it himself, even if it's rough. Right? 2 years, this is not helping anymore. This is abandonment. Your son practically abandoned his children right after they lost their mother. That's sad. The kids need to be with their dad. Weekends aren't enough. They shouldn't have to feel like they're missing dad too. In major cities, a 1.5-hour commute is nothing. Have the kids had therapy? The longer they enmesh with grandparents, the harder reunification is going to be. Exactly this. He even said that if he stretched, he could get a 2-bedroom apartment and work it out himself. So apparently he's totally able to have the children back, but he just doesn't want to make an effort. Why can't this man parent his children? All I can see this ending in is the son meeting someone else and starting a new family, conveniently forgetting about his weekend kids. Your daughter is right. If you're willing to let him be a deadbeat dad, why can't she have some support with babysitting or her occasional needs? I'm female 20, 6 months pregnant with twins, and I just had my baby shower last weekend. For some context, my parents divorced when I was 12 and I have 2 siblings, an older brother and a younger brother. My dad remarried 2 years after the divorce, His new wife already had a daughter, 22, and they have 3 more kids together. After the divorce, my mom got custody over us and we visited my dad on weekends. I don't have a good relationship either with his wife or with his stepdaughter. His wife always tried to be our new mom, which my brothers nor I liked, and her daughter would always try to fight for our dad's attention with us, especially me since we're both girls. Because of this, we never really liked each other, and that hasn't changed over the years. Back to the baby shower. My boyfriend and I decided to celebrate it this month as I'm already feeling too tired from my pregnancy and want to spend the last months in my house. We sent everyone the invitations about 2 weeks ago, and it was already an issue since my dad called me and told me that the date wasn't right since it was his stepdaughter's birthday. So I confirmed the date, I knew it was her birthday, and we didn't speak about that again. My dad showed up at the baby shower with 2 of my half-siblings, but neither his wife nor stepdaughter did, which wasn't a problem for me. But then I got messages from both of them telling me that what I did was awful because my dad wasn't able to spend his daughter's birthday with her and they weren't able to attend the baby shower. I told them my dad could have chosen not to attend the baby shower and stay home with them if he wanted to. Therefore, it's not my problem and they have to solve it themselves. His stepdaughter called me a selfish brat. Was I the idiot for this? You are the idiot. You knew it was her birthday. You could have picked literally any other weekend. You say they try and fight for your dad's attention, but it seems more like that's what you're doing. You knowingly created a conflict that could have otherwise easily been avoided. Not the idiot. I don't see it as a big deal. Stepsister turned 22. She's not 12. It's not even a milestone birthday. The shower was a couple of hours. How come he couldn't do both? And why did stepsister need her stepfather for the entire 24 hours of her birthday? Does she not have a bio father she doesn't share with anyone? When I became an adult, I quickly realized I rarely actually saw my parents or celebrated my birthday on the actual date. And it's not like a baby shower takes all day to celebrate either. He could have celebrated with her after dinner or something. She is a stepsister. I'm not sure why her birthday would be significant to you, especially when you, her and her mother don't get along. LOL. Your father could easily have said no and stayed to celebrate his stepdaughter's birthday if it was that big of a deal to your stepsister or her mother. They're both unnecessary drama. I'd ignore them and focus on the pregnancy. Congrats. I moved into this house a few weeks ago and have encountered an annoying issue. So behind my house is a small neighborhood park with a basketball court. Unfortunately, my house is directly behind the hoops. So an absolute ton of basketballs get thrown into my yard. Many kids always come to my door asking me to get their balls. If this happens once a day, I wouldn't mind so much, but it happens multiple times a day. The worst part is that it usually happens when I work in my home office. I sometimes have appointments with clients that I need to talk to uninterrupted. I also have other paperwork to get done and don't want to interrupt my workflow just to get some kid's basketball. So I put up a sign on my front door that said I wouldn't be answering the door during this time, but would go pick up any balls that landed in my yard and leave them on my porch once a day in the morning. Well, various people haven't been happy with that and want their balls back right away. Mainly my next door neighbour whose kids use the court a lot. The first day I didn't answer the door for her kids, she came over and pounded on my door. I went to see what was up because I thought it was an emergency and it was just my neighbour hulking out about the damn balls. Since she's so angry, I refuse to open the door and talk to her through the door. That makes her even angrier. I tell her I'm not talking to her unless she calms down. She sort of lowers her voice, then she says I have no right to keep her kids' balls. I tell her I'm busy and doing work. She says since it only takes a minute to go and get their ball and her kids ask nicely, I should just do it. Even though it happens multiple times, so it's not just a minute. There's also an issue with the balls I leave on my porch being stolen by other people. My neighbour says that since I'm being an idiot and not getting their balls right away, I'm responsible for them and I need to buy replacements. I said that it was her problem and that she could talk to the city about installing some kind of net around the hoop. Not the idiot. I'm so sorry you have such total idiot neighbours. Apparently they all assume work from home means available to do my bidding whenever I want regarding basketball retrieval. Your work takes higher priority than your status as the sole member of the Neighborhood Basketball Retrieval Foundation. Apparently, the only thing that would satisfy your demanding neighbors is for you to fetch any rogue basketball at once. If they want that, ask them to pay your salary so you can afford to do nothing all day except fetch rogue basketballs. Idiot, the problem of the ages with ball-attracting gardens next to a playground. As an owner of such a garden, your solution is quite acceptable. I've encountered such neighbours who would keep the balls or return them punctured. The real solution would be better fencing of the ball court. And it is a parks problem, not a you problem. OMG, I can't get over how awful this mom is being. She's taking away any sense of responsibility for her kids and teaching them that the best way to get what you want is to yell as loudly as possible. Stay strong, OP. Let this woman keep making a fool of herself. My 29 male girlfriend, 25, and I have been together for a little over 5 years. She's rather introverted and doesn't drink or enjoy going out. She'd rather stay in and watch a movie or have a nice dinner. I don't mind doing this sometimes, but having some drinks with my girlfriend would be nice. Unfortunately, it feels like all she does is go to work on her dissertation, go to the gym, and sleep. The other night, I convinced her to go out to some bars. After a while, she agreed but said she was tired from work and school, so she only wanted to go out for a little while. I was fine with this, but the entire time we were out, she was entirely sober, acting angry, and it was honestly not fun to be around. Finally, I got annoyed and told her her energy was bad, and she said it was just because she was tired, but she was enjoying the music. It didn't look like it at all. We left after a couple of hours. Normally, I stay out until 2 or 3 a.m. when I'm with friends. The next morning, I brought up how she was acting and suggested the next time we go out, she has just one drink to loosen up a bit and maybe it'll be more fun for her. I also said that I feel weird being the only one drinking and that it sucks drinking alone. She disagreed and got mad at me, saying that I needed to grow up and that drinking and partying wasn't everything. I'll admit that I've gone overboard going out with friends in the past, and it's led to arguments that I regrettably don't remember, but I've been depressed, and going out is one thing that makes me feel better. I jokingly asked her when she got so boring, and she snapped at me, saying that she would rather save up for a nice vacation or go to a music festival, or concert, or a nice expensive dinner. These things are out of my budget, and a vacation is only a once or twice a year thing anyway. And when we do go on vacation, she'd rather do boring touristy stuff like go to museums or sightsee. I told her that I didn't think I could give her the life she wanted and was used to. She had a very wealthy upbringing, and she called me an idiot and has been acting cold ever since. So, am I the idiot? Edit. When we first started dating when she was still in undergrad, we'd go to concerts frequently and have a lot of fun. We have the same goofy sense of humour, and we both like fitness and video games. We both like to travel, but as I said, I can't afford it right now. She's used to going on luxurious vacations abroad with her family that cost $10,000 to $30,000, and I can't offer the same. I love and care about her, so I want to go out with her. Going out with friends all the time is different. I originally liked how opposite we were because I felt like she brought balance to my life that I needed, but as I'm nearing 30, I regret not doing more in my 20s, and I'm scared of wasting time and not having fun. You are the idiot. She works and is working on a dissertation. That's insanely hard work, like life-consuming work. Of course she's exhausted. You're in your 30s and want to live like a frat boy when she's a grown-up. Honestly, I think you guys probably have different priorities in life and aren't very compatible. Yeah, your girlfriend sounds responsible and motivated. Unfortunately, you sound like you just want to drink and complain that you don't have the money to do nice things. Instead of insulting her over her incredibly reasonable boundaries, why not just break up and find a girlfriend more aligned with your life goals? Because he wants a rich girlfriend so he can party as much as he wants, which he can't do without her money paying bills and other adult things. How have you guys managed to be together for this long with such different interests? Things may be coming to a head now. I suggest a grown-up talk with her to see if this will work. Partying till 2 a.m. won't solve these issues, my guy. I, 23 female, have been with my boyfriend, 24, for 8 months. We've been living together for the past month and it's been going great, besides one weird issue that has recently been bugging me. For a little backstory, my boyfriend has a blanket that his dad gave him when he was a child, and ever since we first started dating, I noticed that he's very close to this blanket, but it's a lot more extreme once I started living with him and seeing him all the time besides when he's working. He takes his blanket everywhere, when we cuddle on the couch or bed, in the kitchen, and sometimes in the car when we go on road trips. There are times when he would cuddle with this blanket over me and it's been bugging me. After he gets off work and comes home, he will get the blanket from the bedroom. I tried talking to him about this and he told me that I was taking it too personally and it shouldn't even be an issue. He was at work yesterday and I decided to hide his blanket in the back of the closet to see if he noticed me or the blanket first. Well, he came home and noticed his blanket was missing. He asked me what happened to it, and I said I wasn't sure and that I was upset he didn't even say hi to me first. He ignored me and frantically tried looking for it everywhere, and I told him it wasn't that big of an issue and it was just a blanket. Finally, he became suspicious and asked me where it was. I gave up and told him that it was in the closet, and I put it there to see if he would notice the blanket before me. We got into an argument and he said that a blanket shouldn't make me insecure and he doesn't trust me now. He told me to leave. I left and now I'm at my sister's house and have been here since last night. My sister's husband thinks I'm the idiot and that it's silly of me to get mad over this. I think it's deeper than that, but I don't know. Am I the idiot? You are the idiot. What's wrong with you? So what if he has a security blanket? It doesn't affect you at all. You know it's valuable to him, so you hid it. Then you got cranky when he was rightfully worried that he couldn't find something he cared about deeply. It's frankly pathetic that you're jealous of a blanket enough to hide it. This is some Saturday morning cartoon level BS. If she's pulling loyalty tests, she's definitely not ready for a relationship. She's jealous of a security blanket. This legit screams insecure, LOL. And I'm hoping he sees this as a red flag. Everyone's the idiot here. You are more than him because loyalty tests and hiding treasured items is just messed up. But unless there is some backstory as to why this blanket is so important, I find it strange that it still needs to be with him almost 24/7 when he's 24. Also, it's crappy not to even greet your SO when coming home and just going straight for his blankie. I agree, he shouldn't be in a relationship if he doesn't greet a human before a blanket. I think there's some extreme object attachment issue with the boyfriend and he might need to seek psychological help. Instead of getting jealous of the blanket, she should help her boyfriend to find the root of the problem, since it has disrupted their life. Or else she should just get out of this relationship because it's also unfair to her how she's valued less than a freaking blanket.